Hello and welcome. I'm RJ Ledesma and this is Rappler Talk Business. This year, SM Investments Corporation celebrated a major milestone, 20 years as a listed company on the Philippine Stock Exchange. And today we are joined by SM Investments CEO and President Frederic Dybuncio to help us take a look back at SM Investments history from listing all the way to legacy. Again, thank you so much, Ricky, for joining us over here on Rappler Talk Business. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
You look like SM Investments has treated you very well over the past 20 years.
Well, actually, since I joined back in 2011, it's been a real journey for me in SM, right? I mean, I never expected to join an organization with as much governance and sustainability practices as SM Investments, and that's been a great journey for me throughout these years.
Oh, that's really fantastic. Actually, this journey in SM, it seems to be a recurring theme of when people become part of the SM family, that they talk about what an exhilarating journey it's been. Tell us a bit more about your journey coming here to SM. I know that you did a tour of duty from investment banking, moving to SM, and during the time, I'm sure it wasn't what you might have expected when you first joined the company.
Actually, I joined the company in 2011. I used to be a banker. My entire career was a banker with a multinational bank. And when I was invited to join the group, I initially had maybe some hesitation about joining because I've never joined a Philippine corporation before. And then I said to myself that maybe it's worth a try, right? But since I joined back, I think it was in August 2011, it's been one hell of a journey, and it's been very rewarding for me personally as a professional in the business. And the things that we've done throughout these years I've been involved has really been something which really made the company even grow faster. We got involved in a lot of more sort of high growth industries, which we diversified from the original, retail, banking, and property. We decided to go into sort of high growth sectors in the economy, and really to be able to sort of capture the synergies within the group. And so far, it's been a very good journey, not only for me, but I think for the rest of the whole SM Investments group.
What I find very interesting, and being a business person myself, is the philosophy of SM Investments Corporation, and really of Tatang, of turning crisis into opportunity. For me, that is what being in business is all about. Can you share with me a bit more how this sort of business philosophy has translated into business for SM Investments Corporation?
I think Tatang, I never really had a chance to work with him when I joined the group, but I read a lot about what he's done, and you see it from the second generation siblings as well. But he really was a visionary, right? I mean, people before would make fun of him that why would he build a mall in SM North EDSA when there's really nothing there? But look at where it is now, right? The same thing happened in Mall of Asia, right? People are saying, why would you build a mall so far away from the main CBD? But look at it now, it's just a bustling CBD as well, right? So he really had the vision to take advantage of opportunities. He always says that in opportunity, there's always, in every crisis, there's always an opportunity, right? And he really had the foresight to be able to do that. And for him, having the financial capital to be able to really look at these opportunities was also a major factor for the group, right? The group has always had a very, very conservative financial management. We want to make sure that we have enough capital to take, if an opportunity comes up, we can take advantage of it right away, and we can move a lot quicker than that, right? So for now, it's only the second generation siblings that's running the businesses, and they still have that entrepreneurial nature within them. They have this gut feel of where things will go and where things will happen. And hopefully that will continue to the third generation as well, right? So when I hire people to the group, I try to see whether they have the same entrepreneurial nature, because it's one thing that differentiates us. And that is something which we need to continually try to sustain to generations to come.
The other question which I wanted to ask you is that, since 2011, so you've been here about 13, 14 years in the company. What for you has felt like, first of all, your biggest professional achievement here in SM Investments, but secondly, your biggest personal achievement here in SM Investments Corporation?
I think for my personal professional achievement was when the family gave me the leadership role in SM Investments, right? I was the first non-family member to head SM Investments. And to me, that was really very humbling experience. And at the same time, it was such a huge privilege to be able to lead such a group as SM Investments, right? And it felt good because I felt that the family trusted the things that I was doing since I joined the company. And true, we made some mistakes, but we were able to learn from those mistakes and corrected them. So it's really a learning experience for us, right? And as far as for the SM Investment Group, the thing that I feel that I brought into the company is really investing in all of these portfolio investments, right? Which now comprise about 8% of our revenue and net income, and all are profitable. And these are high growth sector, which we believe with the synergies with the rest of the group can really further enhance the overall group growth projection.
You've got a great portfolio here right now. Where do you see it moving in the future?
Well, the retail, banking, and property groups, they're very big on their own, and they will continue to grow definitely throughout the country. We see the provincial areas now as being the higher growth sector than the Metro Manila area. So most of the expansion will be in the provinces. And in addition to that, we've started investing in sort of high growth sectors in the country, like logistics, for example, is one of them. We now have a majority position in To Go, which is the largest end-to-end logistics company in the country. We have invested as well in renewable energy, Philippine Geothermal Production Company, and that really helps us in terms of our sustainability efforts as well. We've also got it into office dormitories, which hopefully will come back after the pandemic. But those high growth sectors for us, and if you put them in to the whole SM ecosystem, the synergies within the group itself can really move these companies to a much higher growth trajectory than if they were on their own.
Got that. I hope you don't mind if we take a step back, because much of the public and even the investing public might not be aware of just how large and synergistic the SM Investments Corporation is. Do you mind, Ricky, telling us a bit more about, especially for those hearing SM Investments Corporation for the first time, what exactly is part of the portfolio? What are the companies that affect our daily lives that are part of the SM Investments Corporation portfolio?
Well, everybody knows SM because of its retail, because of its property, and because of its banking, right? But since then, since when I joined the company, that was one of my main sort of mandate, was to grow the other sectors, wherein we look at industries which are high growth, which can become either the one or two in the respective industry, and can really generate a lot of cash flow for the group, and more importantly, synergies within the rest of the group, right? So logistics, for example, is a very key driver for us. As you know, SM, because of the way our malls are located throughout the country and the retail stores, logistics is very important for us, right? To be able to go out to the provinces. So we invested in logistics, and that really helped us. Initially, when we invested in a logistics company, right, the people in To Go where we invested, they felt that, we're now part of the SM group, that we automatically get the business of SM. Mm-hmm. But they had a really rude awakening, because that's not how we operate, right? We need to make sure that each of our businesses can actually deliver the services that we need at the most efficient cost for the group, right? So they actually had to fight to be able to gain the business of SM, because in SM, governance is a very, very key driver for us. Each of our major companies are actually listed on their own, and they have all different shareholders. So we need to make sure that whatever services we get within related parties are actually done in a real arm's length basis, right? So that, I think, is one factor that actually pushes as well the other group companies to be able to compete and get the business from the rest of the SM groups.
Oh, amazing. In terms of retail, can you tell me what are the retail companies that SM has, so for the people who might not be sure what's out there?
We have a lot of retail affiliates. And, well, we're part of Watson's, we're part of Uniqlo, we're part of Crate and Barrel. Those are the more famous names. We have Pet Express, Toy Kingdom, Ace Hardware. A lot of stores are actually, well, Cultura is one of the biggest one that focuses on the Filipino brand, right? And that's something which is doing very well as well.
Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to property, people might not be aware that one of the biggest properties, because they don't see those properties, the malls, right? So what are the properties under SM?
Well, the malls, obviously, we have 87 malls now in the country. I think when we listed, we only had 17 or 19 malls, but now we have 87. And we have a lot of the SMDC offices. I mean, residential buildings, right? You see that everywhere. We have a lot of commercial buildings here within the MOA area, and we're also expanding in the provinces. We have the NEO buildings in BGC, and then we have all the office dormitories surrounding the BGC area as well. So we do have a lot of property, and we have the hotels, obviously, and convention centers, right? So I think as far as property is concerned, we're one of the most probably very well diversified property groups in the country today.
Got that. And finally, in banking, just for the record, what in banking, where is SM playing in?
Well, BDO obviously is the largest bank in the country, and we also own China Bank, which is I think they're now number 4 or 5 in the ranking, and they're really growing very fast as well. Right?
Got that.
So we have 2 banks in the group.
And I understand that China Bank played a very pivotal role in the growth of SM as a business.
China Bank was one of the first banks that actually lent money to Henry C. And that's how I think the group started, right? They trusted him. They saw something in him that they felt that he could actually grow something. And they did lend him the money, and the rest is history, right? I mean, from a small shoe store, we're now the largest market cap in the Philippine Stock Exchange, right? And if you take into account all of our listed entities, I believe we probably take around over 30+% of the PSE index at the moment.
That's right, that's right. So eventually, I guess China Bank was something that Henry C wanted to be part of.
Correct.
Eventually.
Correct. So when the opportunity came up that there were some shares that was going to be sold, he really wanted to buy those shares as well, right? So now, China Bank is part of the group as well.
Fantastic. Really great story of how SM has grown together with the country. In fact, when you look at SM, it's actually more like a proxy for the Philippine economy. Its performance is parallel to the growth of the country. Tell us a bit more about how you feel about that as the responsibility of SM Investments Corporation.
Having been in a leadership role in SM Investments since I joined in 2011, it's actually been a great privilege to be part of the group, because we know that SM is part of most Filipinos' daily life, right? They go into the mall, they go to the supermarket, they bank with our banks, they probably own properties of SMDC. So we really touch a lot of lives of Filipinos. And for us, that is a big responsibility as well for us, to be able to continue to uplift the lives of Filipinos, right? There's still so many unbanked Filipinos, so many in the provinces which don't really experience what modern retail trade is about. And those are the things and the areas which we want to focus on to continue to uplift the Filipino lives, right? I believe on a daily basis for our 87 malls, probably around 5.2, 5.3 million Filipinos go through our malls on every single day. And that's a lot of people that really support us. They're our stakeholders. So we need to make sure that we take care of them as well and what their needs are.
Talking about your stakeholders, I realize that right now there's also an importance that SM gives to its stakeholders, and you've been doing things also as well to improve the value of your stakeholders, which include, of course, buying back your shares. Tell us a bit more about that move, especially during your 20th anniversary.
Well, we actually had the board approve our 60 billion peso share buyback. That's the largest buyback in any Philippine corporate in the country. And we did that because we wanted to make sure that the investing community knows that we ourselves are very, very confident about the growth of SM Investments, right? We wanted to tell them that we believe our stocks is very undervalued and that we wanted to be able to buy back because we believe in the growth of SMIC, we believe in the growth of the Philippine economy, and given those two, we feel that our shares have been so undervalued throughout these past months.
And having said that, no, recently SM reported 7% growth in net earnings to 82.6 billion for 2024. Were the key drivers across all the different businesses of SM?
Yes. I mean, all of our businesses continue to grow. The retail, property, and banking, they continue to grow very fast. And our portfolio also has continued to grow as well, right? And we continue to build on that and increase the value. And that really contributed to the growth of the overall group.
Fantastic. Given the continuous growth of SM, I know that you put a good governance into place. Picture perfect, or a great example of it is that putting you in charge, which is a non-family member, just to show you how important governance is for them. How does the SM Group, as it continues to grow, remain agile in searching for these new opportunities? How did you build in sort of like that entrepreneurial spirit and that ability to keep on going for opportunities in an economy like this one, in a fast-changing political and economic environment that we exist in?
Well, first of all, I think we're quite fortunate to be in a country which is growing at least 6% a year. And in the Philippines, the growth in the national capital region is probably not as fast as the growth in the provincial areas. So there's a lot of untapped opportunities still there. I think the family was good enough to really begin to professionalize the company. They believe that to be able to continue to grow for generations to come, the company has to be professionalized, and we've been hiring a lot of people from multinational backgrounds to bring in proper governance in the company, right? But one thing that's key, and one thing which I always try to let the new hires know, is that we are where we are today because of the entrepreneurial nature of the group, right? Everybody talks about hard work, passion, dedication, and whatnot, but for me, what really differentiates us is the entrepreneurial spirit of the whole organization. We're able to move a lot quicker. There's less bureaucracy perhaps, and that's what we need to be careful of watching out, that we don't have too much bureaucracy, which will slow down the whole process.
Got that. And in fact, aside from just even the shares being undervalued, another move that you're doing to show that, you know, as you invest in the economy is you recently released your bond, which right now was recognized as the best bond for corporate in the Philippines in a significant deal category. Tell us a bit more about the bond offering, why it's very important, and why it signals why it's a great harbinger for the Philippine economy.
Well, one, the MTM program we had is a bit unique because it actually involves two companies, SM Investments and SM Prime. We both had the same program, and we actually issued our first 500 million bond, and it was the biggest bond ever issued, and we had the tightest pricing. And for us, it really sort of reflected the investors' confidence in SM Investments, and that's why we were able to do it very, very successfully, and that's why we got the award, right? So that was clearly a message that investors give to us, that, you know, they feel that we have very prudent financial management. They believe in the growth story of SM Investments. They believe in the growth story of the Philippine economy. and that's why they did invest in our bond.
And what you did mention earlier in the interview, which I find very interesting, is that what you like, one of the things that resonates with you working with SM is that there's strong corporate governance, which says that when you put up a company, when you run things here in SM, it's run very well. In fact, you've got a former BSP governor as part of your as part of the management team here in SM. Tell us a bit more of just how crucial that role of corporate governance has been to the growth of the company.
Well, our board today is composed of majority of independent directors, right? And that is a very significant point that I need to highlight because they actually are very involved in our board meetings. And for us, corporate governance is really key because unless you properly take care of your stakeholders, they might eventually leave you, right? So for us, in our perspective, corporate governance is very key because it's not only, when we talk about governance, right, it's not just about making sure that we do things properly, but we also need to make sure that we do things that's right for our stakeholders, right for the country, right for our customers, right for our suppliers, and we need to make sure that that is properly in place, that they will really trust us, that whenever we do something, it's done in really high international standards. And that's also why we've also been winning quite a number of awards as far as corporate governance has been concerned.
Got that. And as you look at the company since 2011 when you've been here, of course, it's not always a journey marked by achievements, but also by challenges. Do you mind sharing with us, in your journey here in SMIC, and the spirit of Tatang, what has been the largest challenge, which actually became the biggest opportunity for SMIC over the years?
Well, I think the biggest challenge for us since the time I've been here was the COVID pandemic, right? That was a time when people don't really know what was going to happen. We actually had to pivot, right? We had to make sure that we can find ways to be able to continue to service our customers. We had these, Viber messages that they can order through Viber, and we deliver it. And it was also a time for us to really look back at each of our businesses and see where we can actually reduce cost and become more efficient. And we did that during the pandemic, and it really helped us. That's why after the pandemic ended, the first year post-pandemic, we had fantastic earnings results, right? And in fact, even last year, we see that very good results, showing the resilience of the Filipino people in terms of their shopping needs or their banking needs. But the businesses we have all continue to grow, and they all continue to find ways to really help, like I said, uplift the Filipino lives, right? So we really do that, and actually now, if I'm not mistaken, all of our companies, whether it be the core and the investment portfolio, are all profitable.
I'm just very curious, as you talk about all this one where we turn challenges into opportunities, how do you also see the role of technology, AI, in improving the services, or e-commerce improving the services of SM Investments Corporation?
Technology is something that I've continued to look at. The ones leading the more advanced in that is obviously our banking groups, BDO and China Bank. But we also look into that in terms of our own retail and property group, because we can make sure that we do things a lot more efficiently. We're probably not as fast as other conglomerates in adapting technology, but we're doing it slowly in a more pragmatic way. Mm-hmm. We want to see what others are doing first and what mistakes or successes they might have. And then we take it more in a more pragmatic way, right? We don't want to rush into it for the sake of rushing into technology. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure we're doing it in the proper way that fits our culture and the way we do things.
What I like about SM is the idea that it's into nation building as well, and that's basically what you've been doing by leveraging the growth of the Philippine economy. In particular, how is SM also helping out, I guess, with our OFW market?
Well, One are banks, for example. They're major remittance centers for the OFW community all over the world. And two, we provide them the ease of shopping in terms of our retail stores in the malls, the groceries, and all of that. We make life easier for them, for the beneficiaries of those OFW remittances to come here, right? We give them all of the access to our stores. We provide them special, incentives for when they shop with us. And really our ability to be able to be everywhere, all over the country, and it's a very known brand, and I think it's a brand that the average Filipino feels they can really trust. So that's why they go to our malls and shop in our retail stores.
Got that. And as we start to close out this interview, I know we've talked about earlier on the opportunities that SM Investments Corporation sees moving forward. But just to recap, what opportunities do you see in the retail sector that SM still might get into, in the property sector, in the banking, and new portfolio investments?
Well, like I mentioned, right? I mean, all these three core businesses we have, they will continue to grow, right? They're growing right now in the provincial areas where the demand is there. There's a lot of wealth creation in the provinces now. BPOs have moved to the provincial areas as well. So there's a lot of sort of additional income for a lot of Filipinos there. So we want to be able to provide to them the same kinds of comfort that people in the National Capital Region have, right? Better retail, modern retail, better banking, better property choices for them. And that's what we really want to do for them, right? And our investments portfolio are doing the same thing. We've expanded also nationwide in terms of our businesses. And we really want to be able to show to the Filipinos that we're here, not just to make money, but we're here to really be able to uplift the lives of Filipinos, right? Because they are our key stakeholders for the group, and we need to make sure we can take care of them properly.
And finally, Ricky, after your 13, 14-year stint over here, what do you think have become the biggest life and business lessons that you've gained from working with the SM Investments Group, with the family, that you think you can share with other people so that they can also grow in their own businesses, in their own lives?
Whenever you have interaction with the second generation siblings, right? Sometimes when there's a particular situation, you think you've decided to go this way, but for some reason they have a different perspective of how things should be. And those are real learning experiences from me, right? I learn a lot from interacting with the second generation siblings because they see things which I might not necessarily see because they've really been around for the longest time. They've been with their father, being their key mentor throughout these years. And they learn from that, and they share those experiences with me and the other key management people in the organization, right? Those are real learning experiences for me. And at some point, I'd like to be able to share that with other people as well, and really be able to help people start their own small businesses, right? We have, maybe over 100,000 MSMEs that we deal with through all of our business groups, right? And we want to be able to make sure that they can succeed, because when they succeed, we also succeed. And that's the story of SM.
And as we mark this 20th year of SMIC as a listed company, what does that finally mean to you and to SM as a group?
I think for one thing is that, we've been around for 20 years as a listed entity. We've grown tremendously over these 20 years. And it really shows the trust that people have with us, right? We're one of the most liquid stocks in the Philippine Stock Exchange. We have a lot of foreign investors. And having foreign investors, they actually sort of encourage and pressure, maybe slightly pressure you to be able to do proper governance, proper sustainability, and really push you to do what's right for the country, what's right for the Filipino people, right? And that's really been one of the biggest factors in us being a listed entity, is that.
Thank you so much, Ricky. And that's all the time that we have. If you want to know more about SM Investments' legacy and the future outlook, you can read more about that in the story linked in the caption. Once again, I'm RJ Ledesma, and this has been Rappler Talk Business. Thank you for watching.